As Nigerian movie makers seek ways to gain international recognition, it is not hard to notice the influx of sexually explicit scenes in some of the new movies. Some of the recently released movie trailers have generated controversies for containing scenes that cannot be referenced in this report, including nudity and well-detailed sex scenes. In their defense, the actors pointed to globalization and a desire to meet international standards as a motivation for concentrating on this feature.
Filmmakers are trying to make films to the standard of the international market, and that includes however you tell the romantic angle to filmmakers.
It's all about entertainment, and Red Hot is not just about that scene. That scene led to a lot of nonsense that happened in the movie, so it had to be that intense for you to understand the other events that followed up.
But it appears some of their predecessors do not share that idea.
The generation, the young people just don't think the way we do. I mean, I'm not comfortable with it, but, you have to deal with it.
The Film and Video Censors Board says such films will not be allowed to circulate in the country, but it appears that not only are the producers of these movies taking advantage of online platforms, they also find a way of getting them into the open market, as the Vice President of the Nigerian Movie Marketers Association admits that movies with these features leave the shelves like hotcakes.
Yeah, I must tell you, it is what people will want to see. Definitely, if you're asking the impact on the market, definitely, I will tell you they tend to sell more.
The irony in this is the fact that a while back, the association banned the supply of Ghanaian films from their distribution network for mostly being characterized by the presence of obscene contents.
What on both our people refer to as Ghana films here became more like, sorry, permit me if I should use that language, more like a nuisance to our system here.
Put me off, would you respect the Ghanaian artists? The best of them, suddenly watch the movie and not see them in the news.
Judging from the internet hits these movie trailers receive, the old saying sex sells has once again been proven correct, but it has also shown that a once conservative industry is gradually taking another shape, leaving the populace to judge whether this is good or bad for the image of the industry and our society.
Well, to take this further, I'm being joined now by Mr. Zik Zulu Okafo, the president of Movie Producers of Nigeria. Welcome to the News at 10.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow. There are lots of them out there in the market. Some of them we have seen, some we haven't seen. As it was said in the report, some people have referred to it as globalization to have some of these nude scenes in movies. But what really is the craze about nudity in Nollywood?
I think there's some caustic truth that needs to be told. And it is that a writer or producer, because first and foremost, film is business. Therefore, a writer or producer has a right, or director has a right of expression, right of creativity. But I have to say that in Nollywood, we do not encourage erosion of our core values. Because we are Nigerians, we are Africans, we don't encourage that. That has to be established.
But yes, you did mention we're like a conservative culture down here in this part of the world. But people still go ahead and produce this sort of movies.
Yes.
Are they being insensitive to our conservative culture?
Well, just like I said, people have their right of expression, the way they see the art and the way they want to use it. In Nollywood, for instance, I'm the president of the producers. You ask, do I have power to check that? And I tell you that we have been working very hard to get our council, which is the Motion Picture Practitioners Council of Nigeria, more people, but it hasn't been in place yet. So what you have is the guild system. There is no authority behind that. Therefore, we are not able to control this. So left to do that is the National Film and Video Censors Board. But you also ask, can they really check some of these things? You have to look at the online platform. Beyond that, a lot of people are beginning to find a Sesame Street to releasing their films, a kind of shortcut. So they avoid the Censors Board and just throw their film into the market. The Censors Board is doing a lot in terms of raiding the market to get some of these irresponsible producers, so to say, that release their films without being censored. But alas, the films are already in the, already in the system, in the society.
Yeah, so, but you know why these films are actually moving? It's because there's actually a market for them.
Yes.
There is actually a market for them, and it just seems like it's all about making money because, well, of course, the more skin you're showing, it seems the more money you're making.
Yeah, of course, that's why people talk about globalization, But I still say that if you make good films, you can still make money without necessarily, employing nudity. I think we've seen a lot of that coming in from Ghana. In Nigeria, we're very sensitive to such things. Even our producers. I think a lot of these films come from Ghana. I do not think.
Really?
Yes, most of them come from outside the country.
We do have our own Nigerian movies. I won't name names.
Well,
there are Nigerian movies that have nudity.
But I can assure you that they did not pass through Census Board in Nigeria, because if they did, Census Board will not allow it to go. That I can assure you.
But how come they're in the market? If the Census Board did not allow them, how come they're still in the market? That's what I'm saying, that there has to be a market for these movies, for them to still be out there, for people to still be able to watch them, even online. I mean, you say you're president of the Movie Producers Association, but do you really have the means to clamp down on some of these producers?
It is difficult because we don't even have the necessary authority to do that.
So what is it that you need to do that?
First, you need MOPICON, the Motion Picture Practitioners Council of Nigeria, registered, so that it can regulate the industry. I think that is fundamental. Secondly, I think they need to support the Census Board more, so that, because they have the instrumentality of the law behind them. But they also need the manpower to go out there and watch the market. Because if they don't do that, more and more of these films will be released to the market without being censored. And that would be unfortunate, because people will continue to buy them as long as they have nudity.
But I also believe that you talk to some of your colleagues, of course. Don't you get an opportunity where you guys talk about some of the movies that you make, and tell some of the stories in some of the movies?
No, you see, you've got to understand first and foremost that it is business. There were times that such things were discussed, discussed seriously. But today the industry is so big, people make films from different places, you can't even hear of them. You just see them in the market.
The films are made here in Nigeria. I mean, some of those movies that we're showing now, especially the ones in this report, were made in Nigeria.
Yes, but it's not been released. It was Census Board.
Some of them have been released. That's what I'm telling you. Some of them have.
No,
been
online.
There is a market. Well, the last clip, of course, was had not yet been released, of course, because of the outrage about how much nudity is in that movie.
Yes.
People have spoken out against it, but I think this has been a build-up process, because it's gone from this never used to be Nollywood.
Yeah.
Nollywood used to be about telling stories about what's really going on